Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Sarah and welcome to my very first TBR of 2026. So it has been a minute since I have been on here to talk to you guys, and I'm gonna do a whole bunch of batch filming, probably on and off this week and next, to make sure I get all of my end of year content out for you. If you haven't noticed behind me, it is now green in here. We ended up painting the entire living room and the dining room and my kids' room, and we've been very busy with this. So I haven't been able to film as much because I've been working on everything with the house, which is why I have been absent. But I am hoping that that will be behind us now, and I am back to finish out the year strong with everybody. But that being said, we do need to pick out our prompts for January. Now, I was originally going to do this, that I was going to continue working on my winter binger bingo, and I am going to do that, but I'm going to do that more like finishing out the month and then kind of mixing it in with my January picks. So I'm doing really well with it so far. I want to stick with that, but not everything is going to be as holiday themed in January for obvious reasons. I'm kind of past the point with Christmas, even though we're a couple of days before Christmas, and we have no snow and it has been ridiculously warm. So it doesn't feel like Christmas. It does not feel like Christmas here right now, but I am going to be continuing on with that, but I am still gonna do a whole slew of new prompts. I came up with a whole bunch of prompts today before I threw knives, and so I have a lot of new ones that we haven't seen before, a few old ones, and some really fun ones that I'm really looking forward to. So we have lots to look forward to in 2026. Now, my other thing with the year of 2026 is that is not only going to be my year for doing reading challenges. I'm going to try and participate in as many reading challenges as I can, give myself the freedom to do so. 2026 is going to be the year of the rereads. I'm going to allow myself to do rereads this year, hopefully more often, and I'm really looking forward to that. There's a handful of series that I read years and years ago that have always been 5-star favorites in my eyes, but I haven't read them in probably close to 10 years at least. So it's been a long time since I've read some of these books, and I want to revisit some of those, and I'm gonna try and push for that this year. So that being said, I'm going to do 6 throws, and I'm really excited for all of these prompts, all of these books. So let's get into it. All right, so the first prompt that I got is a sci-fi, and for this one I'm going to choose one that I actually hauled in January of 2025, and I never made the time to get to it, but I'm really excited to try it out. I'm really looking forward to it, and I hope that I love it, and that is The First Sister by Lyndon A. Lewis. This one is set in a futuristic kind of other world, I believe. It says, First Sister has no name and no voice. As a priestess of the sisterhood, she travels the stars alongside the soldiers of Earth and Mars, the same ones who own the rights to her body and soul. When her former captain abandons her, First Sister's hopes for freedom are dashed as she is forced to stay on her ship with no friends, no power, and a new captain, Saito Ren, whom she knows nothing about. She is commanded to spy on Captain Ren by the Sisterhood, but soon discovers that working for the war effort is so much harder to do when you're falling in love. Leto Sol Lucius climbed his way out of the slums to become an elite soldier of Venus, but was defeated in combat by none other than Saito Ren, resulting in the disappearance of his partner Hiro. When Leto learns that Hiro is both alive and a traitor to the cause, he now has a shot at redemption: track down and kill his former partner. But once he discovers recordings that Hiro's secretly made, Leto's own allegiances are put to the test. Ultimately, he must decide between following the orders and following his heart. A stunning and sweeping debut novel that explores the power of technology, colonization, race, and gender, The First Sister is perfect for fans of James S. A. Corey, Chuck Wendig, and Margaret Atwood. So I'm really curious to try this one out. I've had this one for almost a year now and I still haven't read it yet. I got this for my sister and I to read together and neither one of us I think have gotten to it. So I'm gonna put it on my TBR for January, bring it full circle, and I'm gonna finally read this book. At least that's the plan. So hopefully I love it. The next prompt that I got is a video project, and for that one I decided that I'm going to do my first reread of the year, and that is going to be of Home Before Dark by Riley Sager. This is one of the very first thrillers that I read. This one and The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides, two of my all-time favorite thrillers, some of the first ones that I read, and ever since then I have read almost all of Riley Sager's books. I have yet to read The Last Time I Lied and With a Vengeance, his most recent one. I'm scared to death to read that one, but those are the only two of his that I haven't read yet, and this one was the first one that I read. It's one of my favorites. I absolutely loved this book so much, and I immediately gave it to my dad to read and got him hooked on thrillers, and I'm really looking forward to doing a reread and see if I enjoy it anywhere near as much. Now, I know it's not going to hit quite as hard because it is a thriller, so the twists and turns are not going to be as surprising as they were initially, but I'm hoping it's been enough time since I read this that there's going to be a lot of things that I forgot. Now, this one is following a girl who grew up in a house, or was in a house when she was young, that was supposedly super haunted and bad things happened in, and her family, they move her out, and her dad writes a book about it. Now, the book that her dad wrote about this house being haunted was super famous, and now she was having to grapple with the fact, like, she didn't really remember what happened in the house, but there was also this book that her dad wrote. So when her father passes away, or her mother passes away, she inherits this house. She's not realizing that this house was actually still in their possession after all this time. Nobody ever went back to it. Nobody ever talked about it. It was bad times. So she inherits this house, and so she has to move in. She's trying to fix it up, figure it out, trying to basically flip it so that way she could sell it. And all these things start coming to light about the past and about her family and what happened in this house when she was a young girl. That's what I remember of it, but it has been a long time since I read this. There is one scene in this book that I remember that it gave me the chills like crazy, and I do remember that part. But I loved this book when I originally read it. It's always been one of my favorites, so I'm really excited to go back to it and see if I still enjoy it as much. Now, Riley Sager is super hit and miss for me. His books are, I feel like, either like 3.5 to low 4 stars or 5-star fantastic books. Like half of his books are like take it or leave it, and the other half I absolutely love all the twists and turns, and I think they're so much fun. This was one of them, obviously, that I loved, and that's why I want to revisit it. So this is the one that I'm going to do for my video project, and I'm really looking forward to revisiting Home Before Dark. The next prompt that I got is chestnuts roasting, and this one, if you've watched some of my Christmassy TBRs, you might know that this one is to read a slow burn, preferably fantasy romance. So for this one, I'm going to choose a huge book that intimidates the living daylights out of me, but I think for as long as this book is, it better be a slow burn, because otherwise I'll be really disappointed. But that is When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker. This book is like 600 or 700 pages. So yeah, this book is like just under 700 pages, and it is long. But it's one that I've had for quite a while. I've been wanting to try it. And you know what? If I get into a fantasy romance, I fly through that book regardless of how long it is. I think with Shielded Sparrows, I read that one within just a couple of days. So that one's not like the biggest book, but it's not the smallest one either. So it's still a chunky book. But this one is big, it is intimidating, but I really hope that I enjoy it. So this one, it says, as an assassin for the rebellion group Fleur Duoth, Rave's job is to complete orders and never get caught. When a rival bounty hunter turns her world upside down, blood spills, hearts breaks, and Rave finds herself imprisoned by the Guild of Nobles, a group of powerful fae who turn her into a political statement. Crushed by the loss of his great love, Con Vagar took the head of a king and donned his melted crown. Now on his tireless quest to quell the never-ebbing ache in his chest, a clue lures him into the capital's high-security prison when he stumbles upon the imprisoned Rave. Echoes of the past race between them. There's more to their story than meets the eye, but some truths are too poisonous to swallow. So hopefully I enjoy it. This one is also part of my romantasy bingo, so it's the perfect opportunity to fit this in, get a huge book off of my TBR, see if I enjoy it, because I believe the second one is also coming out in 2026. So I'm looking forward to it. I hope that I love it. So yeah, this is what I'm going to put in for my slow burn. Hopefully it is actually a slow burn, because for as long as it is, it better be, if you ask me. The next prompt that I got is a reading challenge. Now, this one, I am this year planning on participating in Books and Lala's title and cover challenge. Now, I always kind of start out the year with the intention of following through with this, and I never actually do. So I'm going to try and hold myself accountable this year. Sorry, my window is open, so the curtain is moving because it's hot in here. But I am going to try and hold myself accountable. And so for this reading challenge, one of the prompts for the cover is internal body parts. And for this one, the one that first popped into my head is one that I'm really curious about. I think it's going to make me cry, but it's one that I really, really want to try out. And that is I Fell in Love with Hope by Len Callie. It does have the skeletal hands on the cover, so it does count. And this one, it says, a group of terminally ill patients vow to live the rest of their lives to the fullest, a love that transforms and transcends. Against the unforgiving landscape of a hospital, a group of terminally ill patients embraces the joy within their reach, friendship, freedom, rebellion, each in their own ways broken, each in their own ways stronger for it. In the midst of pain and loss, they find community, even miracles, and together they are determined to reclaim from life what illness has taken from them. But a singular heartbreak has led one to swear off love forever. The risk of experiencing another tragedy feels too great, yet in this desolate place where it seems impossible for love to make an appearance, a door opens, and so do hearts. So I'm really excited to try it. I think it is going to make me cry. It sounds like something that's going to make me cry. I have no idea if this is going to be up my alley or not, but I really want to try it. I think it's going to be an incredible story, and so I'm really looking forward to it. So since this is the first one that came into my mind for Books and Lala's cover challenge, this is what I'm going to slot in for my reading challenge prompt. The next prompt that I got is a free pick, and for this one I'm gonna leave it pretty open and allow myself to change this as needed. I could potentially read the next in the Dungeon Crawler Carl series. I am currently reading Gate of the Pharaoh Gods, but I'm gonna try and slot something in that I've got on hand for now, but I am gonna let myself change it if I want to. But the one I'm going to slot in is Deepest Blue by Sarah Beth Durst. This is the spin-off to the Queens of Renthia series. I finished that series. I gave them all 5 stars. Absolutely loved it. I love her writing. And this is the spin-off to that. So I'm really excited to pick this one up and truly finish out the series, even though this one technically isn't in the same series. It's just in the same world. I'm really looking forward to it and getting back into this magic system and all of that. So I'm really looking forward to reading this one. So that's why I wanted to slot it in here, because I do really want to get to it. All right, and last but not least, see if I could do this before my camera overheats. Last but not least, the prompt that I got is a book over 400 pages long. And for that one, I don't know if I'm gonna regret this or not, but I am going to slot in Bury Your Bones in a Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab for this. This book is lesbian vampires, and I've never read anything from V.E. Schwab yet, but I've been really wanting to try something of hers for a very long time. And I picked this one up at a little free library. It is signed, and I was super excited about that kind of a find, because how often do you actually find something like that? But I've heard mixed things about this one, that it's like really, really fantastic up until the end. I've heard that it's really great. I've heard that it's kind of a letdown. I don't know. I haven't read anything from her, so technically it can't be too much of a letdown, right? Hopefully. So I'm gonna slot this one in for 400 plus pages, because I want to try it. I want to see if I like her writing. I'm sure I will, because everybody loves her writing, but this is the one that I'm going to start with. It is definitely chunky. It's over 500 pages, but I'm really looking forward to trying it out, and hopefully I like it. I know this one is probably going to be on quite a few best books of the year videos, so I'm going to get ahead of the curve just a little bit, or at least stay like on track, and I'm going to read this one. All right, so that is it. These are the 6 books that I picked out to read in January. Hopefully this is a great way to kick off my year. I have 1 reread and 5 that are new ones for me. Have you read any of these? Did you love them? Did you hate them? Are you excited to hear my thoughts about any of them? Please let me know down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to like, comment, subscribe. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for a little bit, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.